Hey guys, and welcome to TOIN Tutorials. Today we're gonna be building a scene with elements of infinite background and sun setting over the desert. We have a couple of layers here. We have front layer with the road and the ground, second layer with the small hills, then mountains, clouds, and of course background. This is all in infinite loop, except the sun, of course. But we wanted to keep the sun because it looks cooler, because as it's setting, it's getting darker, and we have a nice sunset scene. Okay. So let's get started. We will create a new composition. We will call it Final 2. And we will pick the preset HDTV 1080 25 frames. 1 minute. And let's get started with the road. We have a graphics here. We'll pick the row, transfer it here, right click, transform and fit to comp width. We'll check this, bring it down, and now we'll add some cracks. Let's set the scale to 240 and duplicate it 3 times, so we have 4, and mask it out. In case you were wondering, this is Anchor Point Mover from Mr. Horse from Animation Composer, which is free in the basic version. So I'm using it because it's easier to use. I want to have anchor point in the center, so I click this, then V, and I have single crack. Now the next layer, rectangle tool, next crack, anchor point, V, here we go, next layer, okay, and we will duplicate this last one and transform it horizontal, and now we have 5. And now we want to place it on the road like this. This should be fine. And now, holding a shift, select all of these cracks, press T, and lower opacity to 80%. Now we will add some grunge to the road. I will bring the scale down a little bit because it's quite large. Okay, this should be enough. We can move it a little bit. Okay. Bring the overlay above the road. We will then duplicate the road, set track matte to alpha and mode to screen, and we will bring the opacity down to 20%. Now the road looks a little bit better, so we're gonna pre-compose it. We will call it road layer. Move all attributes. We will go into the road layer, pre-compose it one more time, and we will call it a road frame. Now we're gonna set the scale to 50% vertically and bring it down to the bottom. Okay, so we have a single road frame, but we want to widen the composition road layer 5 times. So instead of 1920, we will have 9600. And now we have this wide composition, so we need to duplicate frame 4 times, so we have 5, and we will align it through the composition. The most important thing for infinite background is that the first and the last frame must be the same. For the road, it doesn't matter because all the frames will be the same, but it will be more important later on. So we will get this frame, we'll set the anchor point to the left, and we will put the position at 0. And to check the next, of course we know the next is 1920, but if you don't want to count or something, so you can put the anchor point of this frame at the right. You can see it's 1920, and the next frame you can put it on anchor point to the left and set position to 1920, and it would align. This one we will put at we'll leave at the middle, but of course we can do this as well. We have the position of 5760. We'll copy it. We'll get this frame, left anchor point, position, and paste. And for the last, we don't need to count anything because we just can put it on the right and type 9600. And now we have whole road layer. As you see, in our final tool comp, we see only part of it, and we can move it around. So we will get to the beginning. We will keyframe it. And now we will go about 6-7 seconds and go to the end. We need to be precise, so I will do this like this. Okay. And now we have this 7 seconds sequence of road moving. To make it infinite, we need to put a simple expression. So we hold Alt, click this whip, arrow down, and we need to type Loopout. And now, as you will see, the road is in infinite background. It's moving rather slow, so if we want to get it to move faster, we need to shorten the loop. Maybe something like this. It's at 3 seconds. Okay, so with the road done, we need to draw first the ground. And we will do this by hand with a pen tool. And this needs precision as well, because we will observe the X and the Y coordinates on the composition. Because this end and this end must be at the same height. Y position must be the same. So we have x0 and 742 at the Y. So we must do the same here. We will get a grid for a second, and here at the center we will give a little hill. Okay, but now we will take the convert vertex tool, because we don't need to have this other roto bezier. Okay, now we have this shape layer. We will pre-compose it and call it ground layer. Go into the ground layer. We can now turn off the grid, and we will pre-compose it one more time and call it ground frame. Now it doesn't look very well because it's yellow and we want it to have some kind of a gradient. So with the use of FX console from Video Copilot, I will click Ctrl and space and type gradient ramp. And we will select one color for the red and the other would be yellow. Now I'm going to change the start of ramp, bring it down, and bring up this one a little bit. You can swap colors if you like, but I'm gonna just leave it like it is. Okay, so now we have a ground frame, and we want to widen the layer, the comp. We want to duplicate it, anchor point, position 0, anchor point to the right, position. Okay. And now we want to draw rest of the ground, and we can do it more irregularly because the first and the last frame are the same. And this is most important in the loop. Everything else can be different. So we're gonna draw some kind of road, a ground. Okay, and for the shape layer we will also use gradient ramp. Now the gradient ramp shouldn't be on the ground frame, so we will cut it, go into the ground frame and copy it to the shape layer. My mistake. And now we have something like this. We can, of course, modify this shape layer, add some more variety to it. For example, build a hill. Okay, I think that this would be fine. Now, it looks empty, so we want to go into the ground frame because it must be identical to the first and last frame, and we will add some things here. Some plants, some hill, not this one, small single hill, plant, little rock, some small objects. Okay, now we will align that single hill. We'll place it here. Now the rock. We must leave some place at the bottom for the road. We will also add some sand. Okay, and now if we go to the ground layer, we will see that first and the last frame, which I didn't remove the gradient ramp from, looks the same. Now all it's left is to add some elements between. Maybe the easiest way will be to copy this and paste it here. Okay, so we have the ground layer with the ground frame looking like this and the ground layer looking like this. So we can go back to the final tool. We will uncheck the grid, and now we will set the position just like in the road. So 4800 to the beginning. We want to keyframe it, bring it to 3 seconds and set it to minus 2880. And now we also want to loop it out. So Alt click on this whip and expression loop out. Of course, the road must be higher above the ground layer. And now we should start to see something. Okay, we see that one of the sand patches is a little bit too low, so we go to ground layer. It's this one. We can use pen tool and bring it higher. It will look better, yes. Okay, so now when we have these two layers, we're gonna bring down some hills. Hills, we will set the scale much higher. And we will do something like this because, as you see, there are places that it have to be lower. Okay, no problems. So now the hills, we're gonna pre-compose it. We will name it hill layer. Move all attributes. We will go to the composition. Pre-compose it one more time and call it hills frame. And widen the composition. Duplicate and do the same as with the others. Okay, so now we want to add a little variety to this, so we're gonna bring back the hills. We can mask out this. Set scale to 300. Place it here and also give another type of hills, scale it up. Maybe not so much. We should change the color so it looks better, so we will select this, type fill, we'll take this color here and we'll leave it like this. So we have our hill layer, 2 hill frames, and now we can go to final. Of course, hills layer must be behind all this, and copy the position from other layer. We want the hills to move slower than the ground and the road, so we're gonna go further away on the timeline, and maybe like this. We're gonna copy the position from here, go to 6-7 seconds maybe, and paste this position. And now, as you see, the hills are moving slower than the foreground. Of course, we need to make a loop, so holding Alt, click the whip, expression, Loopout, enter. Okay, now let's move to mountains. Let's go to mountains. We have 2 kinds. Let's start with this. We will have to scale it up. So it will be above. Okay, it needs to go down. Okay, this is fine. So we want to pre-compose it. Mountain layer. Go into the composition, pre-compose it one more time. Mountain frame. And now widen the composition once more. Align the layers. Position 0 and second one. Anchor point to the right. 9,600. And it's okay. And now in the middle we will take the second kind of mountain, this one. We will scale it up. Like this. And we will use, I think, Tint. So it roughly matches the color of the other mountain. Don't have to be perfect. Okay, so now we have another layer, mountain layer, and we do the same with it as with the others. Of course, mountain layer should be at the bottom. We will open the position of a hill layer, copy and paste at the beginning, keyframe, and we want to go even farther with the mountains because the mountains should move even more slowly than the hills. So we go to the position of the hills, last position, copy, go to 15 seconds, for example, and paste. Of course, we have to loop it out. Okay, let's see how it looks for now. I think the mountains are moving too fast and the hills as well, so we will change this keyframe to 30 seconds and this to 15 seconds. I think it looks better this way. And now let's add the clouds. Would be easier to mask it out. Okay, second one. Now let's set the scale to maybe 200. think the desert is not a very cloudy area, so we'll just leave two of those. One a little higher, one a little lower. Recompose it. Clouds layer. Go in. Recompose it one more time. Widen the layer. And do the same as always. So duplicate, anchor point to the left, position at 0, anchor point to the right, position at 9600. And we will add, maybe copy from here, paste some more clouds, duplicate, let's go here, you will get one quite far to the top. Okay, looks okay to me. So let's go to the final two. Clouds must be at the bottom now. Let's copy the position. And the clouds will loop out in a full minute, I think. It will slowly go through the sky. Of course, we don't need to loop it out, but in this scene. But if we would like to make 2 minutes or 3 minutes, then we will need to loop out it. Okay. Now we're done with the infinite background. We of course don't have a background yet. So we're gonna put it here. Transform, fit to comp. Now we have our sky. It doesn't have to move or anything, so we'll just leave it like this. Now let's add some stars. To do this, we will create a new solid. Color doesn't matter, because we're gonna paint on transparent. We need to select the brush tool, go to the layer, and if we'll start to paint, we will get the option paint on transparent. And we will do this because we did it. First we're gonna paint very small stars. Now we change the brush size to 5. Maybe try to imitate some kind of zodiac signs. Maybe add one larger, couple larger. Okay, now we have stars. We can close this and we will leave it like it is. We will not loop it or move it around. And now what's left is the sun. We have a sun here in the files, but we want it to shine at first. So we're gonna go to Control Space in the FX console, or go here to FX and Presets, and add a little glow. Let's get it at 70. We'll leave it at 10, but we will duplicate it and we will increase the glow radius here to 100. Now we wanna make the path for the sun. So we're gonna make position. We don't want to get too far because we wouldn't see the path very well. And we want it to go here at the end, of course not in the straight line. I think it will be okay. Okay, so now in between here and there, we want the sun to become less glowing and more red. So we will keyframe the glow radius in glow 2. Go to here and bring it down to 0. Okay, so we have our glow, which is going down, but we also need to change the color when it goes down. So let's go to the effects and we will go with Tint. We will get it above, or maybe not. Maybe we'll leave it here and pick the red. And now it's easy to keyframe because we will have here at the beginning we will have 0% tint, and at the end we want to have maybe not a 100, but maybe let's go with 100. We'll see. Okay. Now let's bring these keyframes to the end. Maybe it's getting a little bit too red, so let's go with 8%. Okay. Of course, the sun has to be behind the mountains and behind the clouds, like this. Okay, it looks quite nice. And now we want to change the colors that when the sun is setting, we want it to be darker. So for that, we're gonna pick adjustment layer. We're gonna place it on top. We're gonna pick curves. And we're gonna keyframe it at the beginning, then go at the end and set it to the late evening. Let's see. We have a daylight, and when the sun is setting, it goes dark. Okay. I think it looks good. Now, to make it look a little better, we will add some texture as we would look by the dirty lenses. It's not very visible, but I think it will be more visible here at the sky. You see? And also, we could use a little overlay vignette. So what we want is to create a new solid. This time it will be a black solid. The width and the height from the composition, make comp size. And we want to mask it like this. We select the ellipse tool, and from the center, by holding Ctrl, we will draw an ellipse. Okay. Now we will check inverted. We will go to the mask settings and do the mask feather at 500. And the whole black solid, we will change the opacity with 20%. We'll see how is it looking. It darkens the edges a little bit. Maybe 25, you can change it if you want. Okay. And let's look how it went. And shift slash. The last thing we are gonna do is to add some glow to the stars. I'm sorry. Simple glow, just to look a little better. We will leave it like it is.